Am I the asshole for throwing away my girlfriend's umbilical cord? So I have to use the throwaway because her brother knows my Reddit account. My 34 male girlfriend, 21 female of 2 years is Native American, and she had this small beaten up leather pouch. It was about the size of a golf ball, and it was beaded, but there were beads missing and thread exposed, and the leather was stained and greasy with something. It was supposed to look like a turtle or a lizard or something like that, but it was so beaten that it was too hard to tell. The thing absolutely stunk. We had it in a box of keepsakes along with our photos and other things, and it made the box have a musty smell to it. Imagine my horror when I asked her what the thing was, and she told me it was her umbilical cord. It grossed me out, and I thought she was joking, so I laughed. She looked upset, so I asked if she was serious, and she was. I asked her why she had it, and she told me it was her people's cultural practice to stop you from searching for things or something, among other things. I thought the sentiment was nice, but it stunk and it was hideous. I understand that some people keep teeth and that sort of thing, but teeth don't stink, and teeth aren't kept in a strange little pouch. The whole thing skeezed me out, so I put it back and I left it alone. But 2 weeks ago, when she was sleeping, I was going through our things and wanted to scan an old photo. I opened our keepsake box and the wave of musty air hit me. I couldn't take it anymore, so I hid the thing in a box in the basement. We went through our photos and things together. It was a lovely night. We did it over wine, and she didn't even acknowledge that it was missing. I even asked her if she noticed anything gone from our stuff. She said she didn't, and she laughed. So yesterday, I decided to rid us of it and put it in the trash. It went, and I could breathe a sigh of relief knowing my girlfriend's actual entire mummified umbilical cord was where it should have been to begin with. But today, her mom called and told her that she was willing to remake the pouch for her if she sent it. Oops. She proceeded to tear apart our room looking for it, sobbing hysterically and not listening to any kind of reason. I'll admit, I did feel bad. Maybe I should have just left it alone, but why even keep such a thing? I came clean and told her that I threw it away because I thought she wouldn't notice. She started screaming at me and said that it was not my right to throw her things away. I reminded her of when she threw my favorite shirt away just because it had a hole and a grease stain. She told me it wasn't the same thing. But isn't it? They were both items kept purely out of sentimentality. At least my shirt wasn't making our photos smell musty. She suddenly got very calm, and I thought she was willing to talk about it, but she started packing her stuff. I begged her to stay, but she took her car and stuff and left. I don't know where she went or if she'll be back, but I am so devastated. It was such a small and dumb thing to split us up over, but I do regret it. Edit number 1. I didn't want to put it in a different container because at the end of the day, we still would have had a body part that should have been tossed to begin with. Just because something is cultural doesn't mean that justifies it. Would it be okay if I kept all my fecal matter in a little bag because I thought it was special? It doesn't and didn't make sense. I feel like she was overreacting, and I think everyone calling me the a-hole should have to smell the dang thing. Then you'd know why I tossed it. Edit number 2. All these comments are making me feel like complete shit. The last time we fought, she came back after an hour. She still isn't back yet, and it is starting to take a toll on me. She's the one that makes dinner, cleans, comforts me. She's always there for me. The notion that I might spend tonight alone is destroying me. That upset her. Maybe I am the asshole. I'm sorry, guys. I've been calling her, and she won't answer. I just want to apologize and get her back. I want her to know how much she means to me. I think I might call her mom and tell her what I did and see if she can make another one. I know it won't be the same and it won't have her umbilical cord anymore, but maybe it'll be a start. Edit number 3. I couldn't get a hold of her mom, but I have been on the phone with the sanitation department for our city, and they put me on hold for 45 minutes looking through the trash from our neighborhood. I barely caught them, and it took a lot of pleading and convincing, but they were kind. They managed to find the pouch, and I will have to pay a huge recovery fee. But that's all worth it. They agreed to let me pick it up tomorrow. If I can get a hold of my girlfriend, hopefully she'll come back to me and things can be all right. I will never touch her stuff again if it means she'll stay with me. I'll update this when I can get a hold of her. Edit number 4. This will be the last update. I am so devastated. I got the pouch back from the sanitation center today as soon as they called me at 8 a.m. this morning. It was a little smashed up, but it's okay. If our city wasn't as small as it is, I might not have been able to get it back. I paid them and I left. I left a voicemail for my girlfriend telling her I got it back, and she finally called me back. She told me she was coming back, and I felt butterflies again, like when I first met her. I was waiting for her to show up, and I wanted to fully check the condition of the pouch, so I opened it and discovered what was causing it to smell. There was a cigarette butt in it beside her umbilical cord that looked like it might have been wet at some point. It made the pouch smell like ash, along with the leather stinking from whatever greasy substance was on the pouch. But the pouch was okay, so I waited for my girlfriend to come. Well, she came this evening and asked for it immediately. I asked if she wanted to have dinner with me, and she said no. I was hurt. She said she was coming back. When she told me no, she just wants her pouch, I didn't want to be an asshole again, so I just gave it to her. I told her that I loved her, and she slammed my own door in my face. I began to mourn our relationship, but she came back in and grabbed me by my shirt and asked why I opened it. I told her I wanted to see if it was okay. She said I didn't need to open it and asked if I took the cigarette out. I told her I just touched it to look at it, and she began to cry. She told me she was keeping that since her father committed suicide because it was the last thing he touched. She grabbed me again, and I thought she was going to hit me, but she just went to our room, presumably to see if she got all of her stuff. Then she told me not to contact her again or she'd send her brothers to me. I won't be an asshole and get the police involved, but that was definitely a threat. I am so heartbroken. I've lost my entire life. For 2 whole years, she was everything to me. I helped her get off her reservation. I paid for her GED. I did so much for her, but none of it matters now. I put up so much time into our relationship and into her. I was in it for the long haul. I know I messed up. I know I'm the asshole. I know I'll be alone forever. Thank you all for making me see that. I went to our room and she threw what looks like porcupine quills or something everywhere. She stabbed them into my side of the bed, put them in my shoes, in my dresser drawers. It seems so spiteful to leave something so difficult to pick out of carpeting and bedding. They're all I have of her now, though. So I am going to keep them. I do hope that she's better off without me. This was a huge lesson that I have learned. Do you think that I was the asshole for throwing away my girlfriend's umbilical cord, for going over my wife and speaking candidly to her boss? So here's the situation. My wife is in a high-level corporate position at her job. What she does is extremely stressful, and I don't blame it for taking a toll on her. Recently, though, she's been having a really rough time with work and is clearly stressed out about it. She's visibly upset much of the time, but she doesn't seem to want to discuss the specifics with me. She's even become forgetful and somewhat unuseful around the house recently. She seems to always be thinking about work. She wouldn't talk to me directly about it, and I knew I had to do something. So I found her boss's phone number and I reached out. I simply told him that she has been listless and despondent recently, and that I worried about her performance at work as well as what it's done to our home life. Basically, her boss corroborated everything I was saying, and it seemed clear he felt the same way about her behavior. After some time talking, we both came to the conclusion that a reassignment was necessary. Not really a demotion, but the decision was made for her to be reassigned to a less high stakes, less stressful position. We didn't state it verbally, but I think we both had an understanding that this was in her best interest and our conversation wouldn't need to be brought up to her. After the news came down to her, she became hysterically upset. She thought she was being demoted essentially, and she didn't understand why. The thing is, it really isn't a demotion. There's no pay cut involved, just an executive decision that was made for her own benefit. I'm really not comfortable telling her that I was involved with this because I suspect she'll freak out at me, but I do feel what I did was correct. And I believe her boss was reasonable enough to understand that as well. TLDR, wife was reassigned at her job after I had a conversation with her boss. She feels she was demoted, but that's not really the case. Do you think I was the asshole here? Am I the asshole for confronting my girlfriend about how much she's changing? So my 21 male, girlfriend, 20 female, and I have been together for 3 years and we live together. She has always been kind of alternative. Even when she was a preteen, there's photos of her all decked out in her emo wear, and she's always stuck with the look. I am not against it either. I actually think it's a really cool look on her. Through the years, it has kind of faded away since she's entered professional jobs and things. She's had to ditch the hair dye and the goth clothes and piercings. That was until she lost her job last month, like a lot of people. She then realized no job means more expression, which is great. I love her being able to express herself, but here's where my issue lies. She's making drastic changes at once. Started wearing all her piercings again. She has a lot. She dyed her hair two-toned, ordered tons of new clothes, which are kind of revealing, got out her old clothes too, and even ordered lots of new makeup. It was all a lot. She then found out that on TikTok, there's a community of alternative people who are all into the same things she is. So she started posting there. Her content consists of funny videos, dancing videos, like the viral TikTok dances, videos surrounding her aesthetic, etc. Her videos were pretty good, and she basically blew up overnight and gained 60,000 followers in the span of like 2 to 3 weeks. She was so excited, and I was too. But here's where I may be the asshole. I told her that it's a big change and I want her to slow down and just take a breather. At first she was confused, saying things such as, well, when you met me, I was just like this. You know, this is the style I like, etc. To which I said, yes, but you also weren't parading around for everyone to see it. It's a lot to handle. She just walked off. She seemed really offended. That night, she asked what I meant, and I said, well, you're showing everyone your small outfits and everything. How do you think you got those followers? And she was pissed. She asked if her videos were intimidating me, and I said, when every man is throwing because they've all seen your body, how could I not be? She said that I'm being insecure and degrading her. To which I said that she's basically degrading herself by what she does online. It's been 2 days. She's barely spoken to me. She's really mad at me, and even her sister called me and told me what a dick I was. And I admit, I shouldn't have let it escalate, but I don't think I'm in the wrong for wanting her to calm down all these changes and for wanting her to change her content a little. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for permanently deleting my girlfriend's Instagram? My girlfriend, 24 female, and I, 27 male, have been dating for 5 years now. I don't have any social media. No Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snap, TikTok, etc. I am a private guy and like keeping my personal life to myself. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is obsessed with Instagram. She has over 800 photos posted on Instagram and is constantly scrolling through Instagram every waking moment she's not working or sleeping. She would rather spend time attention seeking from her 5,000 plus followers than spend some quality time with me. I confronted her a few times about this in the last few years, and she always tells me she'll cut down on her Instagram usage, but she never did. Last week, she was using my laptop because her laptop was at the store and noticed she forgot to log out from her email. I did the forgot password thing and I reset her password to log in. I Googled how to delete Instagram and followed the link, and I went ahead and deleted her account. She woke up the next morning and started screaming and crying about how I permanently deleted her Instagram instead of deactivating it, and that I betrayed her trust, etc. Now she won't talk to me because she says she can't recover Instagram and her profile of 10 years is lost forever. I think she is being incredibly childish and throwing a tantrum over a random app. Was I an asshole for doing that? Am I the asshole for getting mad at my girlfriend for wearing mismatched socks? I've been dating G for 5 years and was considering proposal until this. G has always worn mismatched socks, not just 2 different colors, but patterned ones too. When we were younger, I thought it was adorable. As we're getting older and furthering our careers, I find it unprofessional and immature. And it's a little mood killing because it's not very sexy when that time comes. I have had multiple discussions with her about it up until now, and she's always brushed it off. She doesn't think it's a big deal. I'm a little less bothered with this at home, except for when we're getting down. But the last straw was when we went to visit my parents when stay-at-home was lifted in our state. My brother and his wife were there with their young daughter. She had mismatched socks on too, and I pointed it out to G. G said she didn't mind matching with my niece and that it didn't mean anything about maturity because, quote unquote, they're just socks. To me, it proves she's acting like a literal child. I just don't understand what's the problem with wearing normal matching plain socks. So, when she was at work, I got rid of all of her patterned and colored socks, and I did replace them with all black socks. I thought she would be excited to be getting some new socks. Well, when she got home, she blew up at me, accused me of being the immature one, accused me of needing to feel in control, etc. I just wanted her to dress like an adult and told her I don't want to marry an overgrown child. Well, since then, she decided to go stay with her sister and won't speak to me until I, quote unquote, understand. So, am I the asshole for replacing her socks? They are just socks.